Rain, snow, or extreme heat, if you're waiting for perfect weather to be active outside with MS, you may be waiting a while. Let me show you how I adapt instead. Come on. See, for me, exercising at home wasn't an option because I have more nerve damage in my left leg than my right leg. So I had to get rid of my treadmill. It caused me to stumble and just really wasn't beneficial. But if you can see behind me here, if you have a Walmart or a Target or a Home Depot or a Lowe's or anything large like that, they have a structure in their internals to where some aisles are a lot wider than others, and mainly around the outskirts of the store. And you can use that almost like a track or a walking, you can take your app to where you can count your footsteps and so forth, and you can do that and get your mobility that way. And if you don't, you can also utilize a grocery store or something like that. Again, shopping carts for me, I use them for stability, so it really helps me. Stores like this is another option that you could do. I know we just did the Walmart, and luckily this was right across the street, so I just wanted to show you, like, if you do have a large parts store, or not maybe a parts store, but a large home improvement, different things like that, because I know Tractor Supply, different places like that might be large enough to where you could walk around too. Places like this also have really wide aisles around the outskirts, so you can again form laps and so forth. And if they have multiple entrances, it really doesn't matter which end you park at, as long as you start and end in the same place, so that way you can eliminate your walking. Because I know if you're like me with MS, it's not the walking so much while I'm doing it that bothers me, it's the stop. So if I'm walking and then all of a sudden I have to stop or pause, different things like that, that really affects my legs. So I like to park at one end, do my laps, and come back at that same end and without stopping. So that way I can rest in the car. Now, if the legs are going to be worse when you're done and you don't want to drive, if that's a risk, bring somebody, because that can also help. Because another thing I've noticed, when I bring somebody with me to walk, the conversation itself, talking, helps me to think less about what I'm doing and with my legs, and a lot of times I can go further because again, the conversation tends to cause me to forget what I'm doing. So just another idea. Let's go inside. So I tried to hook the phone mount to the cart, but it won't hold. So I'm just going to have to hold it, and hopefully the wiggling won't bother you too much. But the way the stores are set up, like in the front, you have a really wide aisle, so that shouldn't bother you. And you can map yourself around all the wide aisles and so forth, mainly around the outskirts and in between sections of the store if you're in here. Now, the reason I do this and try to stay active is if you go like on the Mayo Clinic's site and look at the benefits, especially with multiple sclerosis and activity, you'll see that there's benefits not only just neurological, because there's certain neurons that are omitted when you exercise and get either your heart rate up or just things moving, that can actually repair cognitive issues. But there's also cardiovascular benefits, as well as another issue with multiple sclerosis is bladder and bowel issues. And it's proven also in their studies that exercise can improve digestive issues, and it can also help with sleep disorders. So there is a ton of benefits to staying active with multiple sclerosis. And Other ways that you could navigate this too is, regardless of where you park, on either end you can make a loop. And if it's extremely hot outside and you want to get cool first, start on the grocery side. And when you walk around the outskirts and you go up the meat department and so forth, that's usually a really cool or chilly section. So you can start there, and then that way you can wind down around the other end and so forth. And that way you can utilize it to just help you debate based on what is happening outside and so forth. So again, it doesn't have to be a Walmart. It can be anywhere where they have wide aisles. And you can navigate and definitely pick a time that's really good for you when the store is not jam-packed, whether that be really early or really late based on your schedule. But anyways, you know, the whole thing is trying not to stop doing and becoming inactive. And for those who maybe are less mobile and have to rely on a wheelchair or different things like that, and they can't benefit from this type of activity, what you can do is with your arms, or what you do have mobility in, whether it be resistant bands or different things like that, anything to try to stay active and build up some type of strength or resistance within those muscles. When I was having problems with my hips, one thing that the neurologist told me was, because I told him I can't exercise, and I gave him all kinds of excuses, and he said, look at it this way, even though the nerve signals to those muscles is limited, you would rather have a limited signal to a strong muscle than a limited signal to a weak muscle. So I took that to heart. So remember, the idea is to stay active, keep moving. So don't stop doing, adapt, and keep going.